usually items coming from Represent, guys, are, I would say, quite expensive, but at least we are getting good materials. But since we just had the Black Friday, I actually decided to go for a pair of shoes, which in my opinion, at least for the retail price, it's way too expensive. Hello guys, and welcome back for a brand new review. If you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing and also giving me a like. It really help out the channel. You can also give me a follow on Instagram and TikTok to see exactly what I'm gonna review in the next few days. In today's video, guys, we're gonna have a look at one of the latest releases coming from Represent, but if I'm not mistaken, this one was actually released at the start of summer. So let's go ahead and take them out of the box, which as you can see will come in one of the regular boxes, which will be in this white glossy color, which will just have written here on the lid Represent. But rather than that, the design for this one is actually quite simple. So opening the actual box, guys, inside before the actual shoes, we're gonna have this dust bag in this cream color, which will just have Represent written here in the middle in this black color. So nothing too special here. So let's go ahead and take the shoes out, guys. So in today's video, guys, we're gonna have finally a look at this pair of Represent Bully in this cobalt white and black colorway. In the last year or so, I actually dropped a few reviews coming from this brand for either some clothing or some shoes, and I need to admit that most of these releases, at least for the shoes, are actually usually quite expensive. In the same time, they are actually a bit heavy as well, which will also be the case for the today's pair, which dropped, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere around the start of summer, at least here in the UK. And the retail price for this one, guys, is gonna be around £250, which will make it very close to the $300 mark, which most definitely will make this one actually quite expensive, at least in my opinion. But I would say that at least we are getting some good materials, but I'm not entirely sure if this price it's actually justified. So on the Represent website, this one is actually available in few color combinations, which will also have some different materials. But today's pair will just have some suede, leather and a very interesting canvas as a base layer. And this one most definitely it's actually quite a wide pair of shoes, and as I said earlier, also a heavy one. So let's go ahead and also do a breakdown of this one, guys. So as you can see, for this upper we're gonna have, I would say, an interesting mix of materials and also design as well. So the base layer will be this white canvas material, which on top will have a lot of overlays. So starting here at the front of the tobo section, we're gonna have this black suede, which underneath will have this black leather material, which will go from the front to the midfoot, and it will act as a cage, and it will also be present for the actual lacing system. Then we're also gonna have some blue leather as well, which again will make part of this lacing system as well. And then we're also gonna have some white leather as well here in the midfoot, which will also have this black line on top of it. So the actual lacing system, it's not gonna have any punch out holes except these two here at the top. But rather than that, you can see that we're gonna have an interesting design, which will be based on these loops, and the actual laces will come in this black color, which are actually quite wide and thick as well. But in case you want to give it a bit of a color, you can use this blue pair of laces, which will come in the box. And underneath these laces, guys, we're gonna have a leather tongue, which will have this Represent tag here at the top. And as you can see, this one will actually be quite thick, so most definitely this one will sit quite nice on top of your foot. So continuing in the midfoot, you can see that we're also gonna have like a very thick rubberized material, which in my opinion feels like a small cage, which will have a lot of these R letters on top, which will be the Represent logo. And finishing here at the back of the shoe, guys, we're gonna have this blue suede material, which at the back of the heel section also have this big rubberized R letter, and just underneath we're also gonna have some black leather as well, which will also have some perforation holes. So I need to admit that the actual design for this one looks actually quite good, but in the same time, having so many layers, it really feels that this one is gonna be a very chunky pair of shoes, which in my opinion resembles a lot with that Forum 84 coming in collaboration with Bad Bunny. The only thing is that this one will be so much heavier. So going now inside of the shoe, guys, for this one we're gonna have this black lining, which here at the back of the heel section will also have some felt material, if I'm not mistaken. And also at the bottom we're gonna have, in my opinion, a very hard insole, which doesn't feel to be like a foam one. I'm not entirely sure why they are using these hard insoles, which most definitely won't make this pair of shoes too comfortable. Nevertheless, we're gonna have it in this black color, and as usual here at the heel section we're gonna have the Represent lettering in this silver color. So now, guys, we can go to this slightly aged rubber midsole, which will have a simple design, nothing special here, and this one will also be stitched to the actual shoe. As you can see, we're gonna have this rubber outsole, which will come and wrap it slightly here at the front and also at the back. And on the lateral side of the heel section, we're also gonna have the Represent lettering. So now, guys, we can finish with this blue rubber outsole, which again seems to be quite thick, and the design is not bad, but in the same time nothing special here. So this one will have your normal R lettering here at the front, and here at the heel section we're gonna have the Represent lettering. But yet again, I feel that this rubber outsole and midsole as well will add a lot of weight to this overall shoe. As in for the actual sizing, guys, as I'm doing for all of these releases coming from Represent, I just went with my true to size. So I would say that for skinny and normal feet you can actually go with your true to size, but in case you have wide feet, guys, most definitely I would suggest you to go with at least a half size up, just to make sure that this front part of the shoe is not gonna be too snug for you. So overall, guys, this release coming from Represent for this bully release, in my opinion, it's actually looking quite interesting. I would say that most of these releases actually coming from Represent, they look actually quite good, but unfortunately, as this one is coming at a very high retail price, I don't actually feel that it's justified, even though we are getting quite good materials and the design is nice as well. Unfortunately, this is not a very comfortable pair of shoes, which in the same time it's also quite heavy as well. So in my opinion, I don't feel that the price, which is quite high, is justified in any way, excepting the actual materials. So yeah, guys, this was my unboxing and reviewing of this release coming from Represent for this bully release. I really hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to press the like button, maybe also subscribe to the channel. You can also give me a follow on Instagram and TikTok to see exactly what I'm going to review in the next few days. Of course, if you want to have a look at any of my other reviews coming from Represent, you can actually choose the videos which you have now on the screen. And as usual, I will see you in my next one. Thanks for watching.